is talkSPORT Breakfast. It's the former Chelsea, Aston Villa, Republic of Ireland midfielder Andy Townsend, who is with me, Natalie Sawyer, as we take you through until 10. And then after us, you've got Sam Massface and Alex Crook. They'll be taking over. And a certain Mr. Alex Crook is joining us here in the studio to tell us what's going to be coming up. And also, got to use you while you're here to talk about the latest transfers. But let's talk about what's coming up in the show first for you guys.
Good morning. Do you know what? I'm not saying I've got Euro's withdrawal symptoms, but genuinely, I woke up this morning and for a good minute or so, I had to look around the bedroom. I couldn't work out if I was in Berlin, in Dusseldorf, or back home. Honestly, it was quite freakish. Yeah. But so we're going to be sharing our memories of that tournament. I think we're going to be picking our team of the tournament. Controversial, but I think for me, I was amazed that Kyle Walker got in the team of the tournament. I thought he was really poor, actually, by his standards. Probably Jordan Pickford, the only England player for me who I would put in, but we're going to be doing a bit of that. We're going to be obviously reacting to the news of Gareth Southgate's departure and giving our opinion on who may come in next. The news team are just giving me a good stat, actually.
Right.
Do you know no foreign manager has ever won the World Cup, i.e. no manager who's not from the nation that he's managing has ever won that tournament? And the last time it happened in the Euros was 2004 when Greece won it under Otto Rehhagel. So
yeah.
I wonder if that might come into the FA's thinking when they look at the pros and cons of going homegrown and also going for an overseas appointment.
Interesting, very interesting. That is, yeah. Do you know what, Crookie? I wouldn't have thought that if you'd have thrown that one out there about that no foreign managers won a World Cup. I would have been very surprised at that.
But then also, surely someone's got to buck the trend. Surely. No?
Yeah, but
maybe not.
I was listening to Henry Winter driving in this morning. I think he made a brilliant point. Part of the reason the FA invested so much in St George's Park was not only to develop players, but it was to develop coaches as well. I think if you tear that up and you appoint a Pochettino or a Postecoglou, I don't think that's a great look for the FA.
No, it would be difficult, particularly if there isn't success under that foreign manager that comes in.
The fans would turn really quickly. They turn more quickly, I think, against an overseas manager than they would one of their own.
Yeah, that's just very true.
Natural reaction.
I totally agree with that. And so, is it good to be back home?
It is good to be back home. I spent yesterday mending toilet seats and building cabinets. So
straight back to it.
Yeah, straight back to that. School runs, ballet lessons.
Oh, lovely.
Real life hits you fast.
Great.
It certainly does. Talking of the England manager's job, before we move on then to the transfer news, Eddie Howe, we've been talking about, front runner. Do you think, from what you know of him, and you would have worked with him and dealt with him, I should say, down on the South Coast, is he someone that would turn down England?
I've known him since he was a player at Bournemouth. That's how old I am. And I've been dealing with him ever since. I think he's the best candidate for me. If you're looking for an English manager, you look at what he did at Newcastle. He inherited a team who were heading to the Championship, probably. Got them into the Champions League in his first full season in charge. He got them to Wembley with that League Cup final. Even last season, it was always going to be difficult to emulate what they did the year before. But had United not won the FA Cup, they'd have been in Europe again. The fans love him. He plays a decent style of football. He's a player's manager in that he does his best work out on the grass. So for me, he ticks all the boxes.
Okay, let's park that now and talk transfer news, shall we? Because it seems Manchester United have been quite busy so far this summer.
Yes, they have, and I think a lot of Manchester United fans have been quite impressed, not only with the work they're doing in terms of incomings. I was watching.
Does that include you?
Yeah, it does actually. I was watching the interview with Joshua Zirkzee yesterday. He spoke very well about the challenges that he faces now as a Manchester United player. Leny Yoro is not a deal that necessarily we saw coming, because I think everybody, United included, certainly Liverpool, who were also looking at him, believed he was heading for Real Madrid. So to manage to pull this one off and snatch him away from the Bernabeu, I think is a real statement of intent. Yes, it's a lot of money for an 18-year-old, but they call him the Mbappe of defenders. He's 6'4" already, 18 years of age. He's played 60 games over in France. So a really exciting signing for the future. I think the sea change is that in the past they'd signed people like Casemiro when maybe they were over the hill at Real Madrid. Now they're looking to sign younger players with future sell-on value who are going to be there for years to come. So fair play to them on that. And they're getting players out the door as well. Mason Greenwood having his medical at Marseille today. They're getting 25 million for him, plus a very significant sell-on clause of 50%. Willy Camboila, who wasn't going to be part of the furniture, they got 10 million euros for him. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I think, is going to leave for around about 18 million pounds. So not only are they bringing players in, they're managing to shift some of the deadwood as well.
Yeah, I'm always intrigued, Crookie, with regards to coaches and Ruud van Nistelrooy coming back to Old Trafford. I'm really intrigued to see what sort of wisdom he can impart on the likes of Rasmus Højlund and those other Marcus Rashford, those other forward players that in those key areas. Be fascinating to watch that, how much input he can have and how much time he can spend with those guys and develop those boys.
Well, it's an immediate PR win with the fans. Ruud van Nistelrooy growing up was one of my heroes, and I'm sure I'm not alone in that. But it's not just a PR exercise. He's proved himself at coaching level over in the Dutch league. Obviously, it's a big step up into the Premier League. But again, listening to Xerxes yesterday, he's excited to learn off a player of the calibre of Ruud van Nistelrooy, and I'm sure Højlund would be as well.
All right, well, we look forward to hearing from you and Sam Matterface from 10 for now.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.